Hey guys, welcome back to our 5th episode of the Next Gen podcast. And you're probably thinking that this studio looks a little bit different. And we had some technical difficulties with our last episode. And we're actually in my house. My parents are in the room over. My grandma's also here. You might hear her snoring in the back of this, or you might hear a bell go off if she needs any of us. But so our episode that was supposed to go out, I may have messed some stuff up and deleted some things. So that will be going out next week. And I decided to film an episode at home. So I have a whole setup and welcome to episode 5 of the Next Gen podcast in a whole new location. If you guys haven't heard, I won't give it any screen time, but I had my very first public haters a few weeks ago. And then going from there, I've decided that means I made it. If you have a hating auntie or two talking about you, that's when you know that you have absolutely made it. But no, in all seriousness, this episode is a little bit different. It's not an interview. It'll just be me really talking. But I had someone message me saying that this whole culture that we joke about, we say like hating aunties, or we say the South Asian community isn't supportive, like Loki Kogi, all that whole conversation is something that totally needs to be had again, because growing up in it, I think we're at the bridge of where we're saying we're going to change, but then so many of us are stuck in that same cycle, and we say, oh, we never want to be judgmental as our parents' generation, and then we end up doing the same things. Anyway, fruit fly, what the heck? Okay, anyway, so people have been asking me, hey G, like, hey Geetanjli, like, why did you start the podcast? And I feel like my honest answer is I genuinely just love talking. I love having conversations. I love making connections. And I've always said that I'd love to have a talk show or a podcast. And then I started telling people I was going to do it. And then I had to commit. So I don't like saying I'm going to do things and not doing them. So since I've been floating the idea, and I thought, what's a better time? Like, if I can't do this now, I'm probably never going to do it. And I love entertaining people with what I'm passionate about. Like, I love talking. There's so many topics I'm so passionate about. So I think I'm really lucky to have so much wisdom around me as well. And if I can share that with other people that might not have the same resources, why not? But for real, I love yapping. So I thought this feels natural, so why not do it? And then the follow-up question to that is always like, how did you decide to just put yourself out there and be confident? And being so real, I just stopped caring about what anybody thought. Like, I'm going to create a community and I'm going to do what I love. And if anybody has anything negative to say about that, who really cares, as long as I'm happy. Dancing, emceeing, and doing all of that. And I had parents that always volunteered me to dance at anywhere. So I started dancing and performing at a super young age at the Mother. Then I went to a Bhangra school. I did some classical dancing. I've done the harmonium. I've tried to sing. I literally cannot sing, so I don't know why we tried to do that. But I was really encouraged to always like take up so much space and be overly confident and loud. And also why I did drama until grade 12. But oh my gosh, I was so confident that when I was rehearsing my grade 4 fashion show Moja Moja song, my pants fell down and I went to the side, tied my pants, and came back like nothing happened. And then my mom on top of it was like, if anybody makes fun of you, they're just jealous that they couldn't do it. And I really believed it. So anytime someone made fun of me for my pants falling down in the middle of my performance, I would literally go, you're just jealous and you can't even dance, so you're the real loser. I just kept rocking it. Like, not for a second did that shake me. So shout out mom for the delusional confidence. So I feel like this field honestly really came naturally to me. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably doing something good, because I had my first hating aunties podcast about me going off for like 30 minutes. And then they posted a follow-up video with a picture of someone I love and respect on his birthday. So I mean, if you're an investigative journalist, you probably knew it was his birthday. And that's some despicable behavior. Like, to really act like that is insane. But honestly, given that there's so much, I'm not going to give like misinformation like that any airtime. If you've seen it, you've seen it. And if you've seen it, I don't know why you didn't want to bring it to me or confront the people that did it. But then I really just sat with it. And I was like, why do the hating aunties of our community like really have so much built up anger for like the new generation, but especially their own community? Like, I really don't see them showing hate the same way to other communities, or honestly even to boys half the time. Like, it's usually the next generation of girls that get it the worst from that breed of Auntie G. So like, how many like of us have gone to a hall party and like felt so confident until you've gotten like a random stare from an auntie, or a comment about how your suit's not ironed, like breast karke, or a random backhanded compliment that catches you so off guard. And I've always been so confused. Like, why does anything I do bother you? But then, or literally, like, how many of us, like, we just have been doing episodes with so many people that have been judged and made feel so bad about themselves because of doing things that they're passionate about. Like, our community, but more specifically, aunties, need to get away from the space of like judging before understanding. And it's because it's made our community a really like non-enjoyable place to be. I think that people would have so much more fun and be themselves if there was so much more acceptance in our community. And don't get me wrong, we're getting there. Like, there's general growth, but I just sit back sometimes and I'm like, why are you so angry? And why are you publicly so angry? But then I took a step back and like almost started to feel bad, you know? Like, a lot of these aunties, most of them didn't have like the freedom, resources that I or like most of us have. So their judgment is probably just like a lack of ability to do what we all do, right? Like a lack of freedoms. Like, they didn't get their chance to date, so they're going to judge that we do that. They didn't get the chance to follow their passions. So it's almost the anger of not being able to do it yourself, that they fall into the cycle of like upholding a household super young. And honestly, in that position, maybe I'd be bitter or like angry as well. But that is also very much the fault of like South Asian men and uncles, but that is a whole nother rant for another day. And I also think it's because we're the first generation to have the pressures, the same pressures that our parents had, because you need to succeed if you're going to be in the South Asian community, you need to become X, Y, and Z. But we also had the freedom. And when I think about my whole situation this past week with these older aunties, I think they're just projecting because they never had the choices that I have. Like, I think I'm so lucky to come from an environment where, so, like, I literally had people in my support system come over and set up this whole studio today. Like, we set this up deciding that I'm going to film at 11 p.m. at night. And I'm filming, and I have the opportunity to share what I feel and to talk about my feelings online and to talk about what I think is important and to raise awareness for things that I definitely think need awareness for. And I always think that the people on the other end just never got the opportunity to do that. Like, I'm sure the auntie just talking about me never had a mom and dad letting them set this up, post whatever they want online, not get married at 21, not have kids at 22. And I always, now when I really sit with it, I used to think it was jealousy. I used to be like, oh, our community gets so jealous when someone starts succeeding or someone starts doing something big and we start like attacking each other. But then I really thought that more I sit with it, the jealousy isn't always malicious. It's like grief. Because I think a lot of people didn't get to live the lives and have the freedom that we have right now. So then I almost start feeling bad. So then I go that way and I'm like, I start off so angry. And then I end up just feeling bad. And like, there's a huge freedom gap there. And then they didn't really get to live for themselves. So I think for certain people of the older generation that judge us, watching us live so authentically almost feels like personal to them. So that's where the tension really comes in. And I think like, even I talk a lot about the aunties, but even uncles as well. Like, I think the reason that they want so much control over situations or who's allowed in and who's not allowed in, a lot of it comes from like, they didn't have that control. So now they want that control going forward in situations. Like the trauma of like immigrating to a country and like limited opportunities and fighting for all of that. But then when I talk to my parents and I talk about when they came here, everything was so community based. I know everyone always talks about, oh, like when we came here, like we support each other, we used to do everything for each other. And I think it's really interesting to see where we've gotten to now, because the South Asian community is so large that we should be so happy that South Asian people are getting these opportunities that we would have never gotten before. And I don't know if it's like a scarcity mindset of only one of us can make it to the top, but it's definitely not like that. Like, there's room for everybody. I think that every space has space for every single person. Like, the pie is big enough for everyone to have a slice. And I think we need to turn this energy, especially people now that are my age. I'm like, we said that we were never going to be like this, but then why are we judging people just as hard as we saw our moms judge or our masi judge or our puas judge or all these people judge? And it's just turned into like competition, gossip, comparison, and like the lower mainland especially. Like, Surrey is full of so much South Asian talent. And I love when I meet people that are so supportive and just collaborative. And like, you always win when you collaborate over competing. You can make things so big. So I just have never understood like the pulling people down. And so many people do so much of it. Like, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes of like people talking or this happened or that happened. And even for me, I think last year when I threw the very first Ignite Gala, I was so incredibly proud. I was like, I brought this many women in a room. I left feeling so loved. And then it's always 2 or 3 aunties. Like, it sounds so bad to say, but it's always someone that was telling you were doing so good to your face. And Surrey's small, things get around. And once they got around, it's like, I was so upset because I just don't think I was ready for the reality of that people don't actually support each other. Or I just grew up in such a girls girl world where like we all support each other, like girls for girls. Like, you know, like you tell people if you think that they're doing something wrong, but you support them. And if you say you're going to support them, you do support them. I think that was my first time I really had to take a step back and realize, okay, maybe this isn't like this, or that there's always going to be 2 or 3 people that you can't make happy. But it's just the aspect, it was exactly what you call like a hating auntie situation. And I don't understand why, if you are in your like 50s or 60s, why you're judging someone who is 25 that hard, or why you don't have the space to then become a mentor and say, hey, I didn't like the way you did this, but there's always room for improvement. You can do this better. And I really think that's what we need to aim more for. And don't get me wrong, there's so many people in the community that are like that. Like I've met so many incredible people that are willing to like hold my hand through anything and say like, hey, if you need help, we're going to help you. Or even this, like setting this up at 11 p.m. Like I am so grateful for the people around me, but it doesn't take away from like the general culture right now of like just hating people for no reason and just like not clapping for each other. And I think it's like a part of it too is, I guess, they all came from struggle, right? So when you come from struggle, you don't really know how to celebrate someone else's success. But I don't really think that's something that can't be fixed or can't be worked on and shouldn't be talked about. But I honestly, to all my girls in the next gen, learn to have some thick skin, because people are going to say that they support you and they're going to be so nice to your face. And yet when you ask them to like stand up for you, that's when the problem really starts, is that people are going to be in rooms where people are talking about you and know that most people aren't going to stand up for you. And that's what I've really noticed, like being in this community, is that, don't get me wrong, you have your outliers that will defend you till the day you die. But the majority of people, like I can give the example of myself. To my face, everyone's like, oh, you're like my daughter, like tu mira potya. But when people are making these claims about me or about the people that I love, no one who calls me pot was comfortable confronting them. I feel like I had the opposite reaction. Like, oh, we don't want to upset anybody. We don't want to upset anybody. You wouldn't upset anybody to see your youth community grow. You are uncomfortable being uncomfortable. As much as I say that the older generations like say that they want to see the youth grow and then they want to support, no one is going to stand up for you the way that you stand up for yourself, period. So start. I am all for self-advocacy. I've never really held my tongue when it comes to things I believe in. And don't get me wrong, I recently had the privilege, oh my God, I'm going to cry thinking about it, of attending the Be the Light Gala and really saw what a room of like women standing up for women really look like real connection, real commitment, and real mentors. And I think that everyone has their own opinion of everything. Everything is controversial, but that was the first time where I really like admired how much work and real change was made in that room. Like I was crying, everyone was hugging. Like I left feeling so much closer to everybody. And that's what I really strive to achieve with our Ignite Women's Gala. Buy your tickets if you haven't already. It's February 28th. Sorry, I had to do my little plug. But no, but that's why we do what we do, right? Like I have so much like brown girl rage about these topics, because there's no way it's grown women speaking about someone half their age. And there's no way that this is still what we're doing. And I recently adapted, honestly, to being very like, let them with everything in my life. And not that I'm really in a place to give advice at 25, but I really think that that works. Like if they don't like me, let them not like me. It doesn't change anything. If they don't appreciate me, let them not appreciate me. Because does it really impact me in any way? And each time that I do this, I find that the people who end up in my closest circle, and when I really started thinking about life that way, if like, whatever people are doing, let them do it, right? Like you can't control people's actions, but you can control your reactions. So I found people that really do love me, support me, and appreciate me, and that's my inner circle. And I find that once you start to accept that there's people that love you and then there's people that are just the let-ems, you really build yourself the best kind of support system. And there's nothing else that I think you could really want other than having like really good friends, a really good circle, and just doing it. So in total, I guess the conclusion of why I do this is I'm a tad bit delusional. I just do the things that I want to do. And I think that you only live once. I'm only going to be 25 again. And so if this is something that I wanted to do, why not just do it and fully gun in? But yeah, winter season's coming up. It's raining outside. I absolutely love the rain. I love fall. I love sweaters, warm drinks, and I feel like this is the time that I get the most work done. Like I'm really trying to get so much done before the holiday season, because once the holiday starts, everyone stops working and my brain immediately goes to Christmas. And lately, I've been sleeping so well too. I really think it's the rain and the noises. And normally I'm always thinking like I have so much stuff to do, I have messages to respond to, but with the cozy weather, I'm ready to pass out right away. And then again, if you ask my friends, I'm sure they'll tell you that I can sleep anywhere. Like I can sleep right away before the plane takes off. I fell asleep on someone's couch at a party. I'm sure there's a picture of me sleeping at the club at one point. That's out there somewhere. But I promise when I'm home and I'm not distracted, I need to be like really, really overstimulated to go to bed, because I feel like there's so much to do. But lately, I think it's because of the rain, or maybe it's because I've been making like better to-do lists throughout the day. So by the time I'm at the end of the day, I can really go to bed. Or I've decided to start driving in silence instead of like always being overstimulated and having like a call, a TikTok, a podcast, or a song on, because I don't think I really ever have super silent thinking time to have a clear head. But anyway, I'm going to blame the rain and the weather because it's just, I love fall. It's good soup weather, a grilled cheese, and a tomato soup, 10 out of 10. Also, I'm really trying to finish the year super strong. So tying up everything I've been working on, crossing things off my list, and making sure I leave the end of the year somewhere where I'm super proud of and like accomplished before the holidays hit. And it's a little bit of hustle, a lot of reflection. But I just love fall. I feel like I do my best in fall. Winter season's coming up. We're going to have some exciting winter episodes coming on. I have some exciting guests coming on as well. And we'll do some more sit downs like this too. But this is what the next gen looks like from home. Welcome to my first short little solo episode. And thank you for tuning in. I am fresh off of yoga, which 10 out of 10 recommend to everybody. Hot yoga literally wakes me up in the morning. And it's so nice to like be able to stretch and feel like that. But I also realize like when I go to the gym, I feel like I'm so strong. I go to yoga and I see people like literally double, triple my age and they are more flexible. They are better at it. They're not sweating as much. And I am in awe. So it's given me something else to be in my life. So that's what I'm doing that way. And yeah, with Christmas coming up, make sure that you guys subscribe. You like this video. Let me know what you guys want to see. We're going to be opening up some questions too leading up. Me and Manby are going to be doing a little bit of a Besties Christmas episode. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be opening up a link on my story very shortly. And you guys can check it out. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, subscribe to us on YouTube. We're on Apple Music, Spotify, and all your podcast apps. So I will see you guys very soon and have a great weekend. Bye.